You're listening to the Get to Know TRICARE podcast, your resource for information to help you get the most out of your TRICARE benefit. Hello, everyone. I'm Anthony Vieira from the TRICARE Publications team, and I'm back for another episode of our Take Command of Your Health series. Quick question. Are you or someone you know looking to quit tobacco? If so, congratulations, you've actually made a great lifestyle choice. But we know quitting can be difficult for many people, and it can take several attempts to quit successfully. But remember this, you can do it. In today's episode, you'll hear me speak with Kimberly Elenberg, the U.S. Public Health Service Captain and Chief of the Total Force Fitness Branch at the Defense Health Agency. In our discussion, we take a deep dive into the facts about tobacco use, tips to quit and stay quit, and TRICARE resources to keep your health on track. Check it out. Captain Elenberg, it's great to have you on the program. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. This is a great topic of conversation and really important. I appreciate the time.
You bet. So let's talk tobacco. Pretty big deal here in the U.S. So big, in fact, that according to a 2020 CDC study, nearly 51 million adults use some form of tobacco or cigarettes. And unfortunately, that tobacco use comes with negative health effects. So what should beneficiaries know?
The biggest things that beneficiaries should know is that we're here to support them. If they want to quit, we have things in place to help them. It is really critical to know cigarette smoking harms nearly every organ of the body. It causes 90% of all lung cancer deaths. It can lead to other diseases like stroke and coronary heart disease. Most importantly, this is the leading cause of preventable death in the U.S. And there's more than 480,000 deaths a year as a result of smoking. So if it's preventable, let's work on this together. We know that the risk of dying from cigarette smoking has increased over the last 50 years in the U.S., and that increase has to do with some of the newer products even that have been introduced to the market. Those include e-cigarettes, vaping tools. A lot of the nicotine that's delivered in there is really high. It's not your grandfather's cigarette. And what we have found is that a lot of those products start leading into smoking. So, again, just want to reemphasize, this is preventable.
Wow, it's pretty shocking to hear that the risk of dying from cigarettes has actually increased over the last 50 years. Now, for current tobacco users, quitting is going to be the big difference maker here, right?
Quitting really does make a difference. And I don't think anybody picks up a cigarette or an e-cig or a vape with the idea that they're going to become addicted to those products or, they're going to spend so much money on those products over a lifetime. People pick it up because, socially, this might be what their friends are doing. This might be what they saw their parents do or, just to connect to people sometimes. It breaks down barriers. So, yeah, quitting smoking definitely reduces your risk for disease over time, and it can add years to your life. So, I think if you stop smoking, you can sharply lower your risk for a heart attack almost immediately within a year of quitting. And within 2 to 5 years, and then within 2 to 5 years after quitting, your risk for stroke can reduce to that of a non-smoker's, and even cancer. After 5 years, risk for cancers of the mouth, the throat, esophagus, and bladder drop by half. And 10 years after you quit smoking, the risk of dying from lung cancer drops in half. So your decision to quit, an individual's decision to quit, really does make a difference.
So let me ask you about this, Captain Elenberg. We hear a lot about vaping and e-cigarettes in the news. Is that a better alternative when it comes to, trying to quit? Will it help you go towards quitting?
What we're finding is that it doesn't. First of all, there's a lot of people who pick it up who have never, ever smoked. So they pick it up as their first product. And the nicotine level in these products is really high. And the data that is coming out now is starting to show that people who use these products start using combustible products then as well. So they start smoking. So it does not look like it's a deterrent. If you have not picked up a product and started using tobacco, the best thing to do is avoid it. If you have started picking them up, then you need to be familiar with them. Some of them look like regular cigarettes, cigars, or pipes. Others look like everyday items like flash drives or pens. Kids have really picked this up, and it's hard for teachers and other folks to know that they're actually employing the use of these products, and it does affect how they mature and how they develop. So, given that research is still being conducted into the long-term effects, we need to at least pay attention to what we've seen as short-term impacts on brain development, including learning and attention, especially in people who are 25 and younger. And then for regular folks, the impacts on lung function through exposure to heavy metals and ultrafine particles, that has been a real issue that has led to illness and really high risk. So, there are other safe, proven, and effective methods for quitting. So if people are starting to use e-cigarettes and vaping material to help them quit, I would suggest that they go to tobacco counseling for quitting, that they look at other nicotine reduction therapy medications. So we don't promote e-cigarettes as a method to quit. DOD considers e-cigarettes to be harmful and unsafe.
That's really great information. And chances are we all know someone who's trying to quit tobacco, whether it be a family member, a friend, or an associate. But the reality is quitting cold turkey is not something that works for everyone. However, there are a ton of safe and proven effective methods that can work. So what are some tips you have for beneficiaries who want to support their family members or friends who want to quit tobacco?
Well, first and foremost, congratulations. If they are thinking about quitting, that's a great thing. We've already talked about the immediate impacts of quitting. If you're thinking about quitting, but you feel like you need more support, I think that they should know that we're ready. We're here to help, and this is tough. We expect people that when they quit, there are going to be some people that fall back, that are addicted to the nicotine, and it may be really hard at times. So it's possible that for every step forward or 2 steps forward, you might take a step back, but then you take 2 more steps forward. So I think that's the biggest thing to know. And I think for folks who are former tobacco users, they can share their experience of quitting. I think it's a unique path for each individual. And I think it's also really important to listen to what people have to say. What is their journey like? And, what can you do to support them on their personal journey? It's really an individual, right to use tobacco, and it's an individual choice to quit using tobacco. And the best role that we can play is to be there with good information and support.
And I think you bring up a really good point about listening, because if you have a friend or family member who smokes and wants to quit, it can be easy to say, oh, put that cigarette down. It's not good for your health. Stop smoking. But sometimes to be that support person, you just need to listen and be there.
Sure. And you can offer distractions. A lot of times people, just like eating, some people eat when they're bored. So sometimes tobacco use occurs, just when you're bored or you want to relax. And so alternatives like going for a walk or, watching a movie, cooking, exercising, those are options too, those distractors. And then I think one of the resources that we have found that's pretty awesome is the National Cancer Institute's smokefree.gov. They have a number of tips, not only for quitting smoking, but also for vaping. So great resource.
And you can also find information with the You Can Quit Too tobacco education campaign. Can you talk to us a little bit about You Can Quit Too?
Yeah, absolutely. We're super excited. This is a campaign. It's on a .org website. So, this is something you can take on to challenge. Quitting is a challenge that you can take on in privacy, or you can take on with the support of, your friends or your family. It helps. It definitely offers information not just to the person who is trying to quit tobacco, but for loved ones who do want to support someone. There's a 24/7 live chat. We wanted to make sure we had that available because we have people that are stationed all around the world. We have people that are working different shifts, and we want to make sure that when you decide to quit, you don't have to wait to find that help. You can find it immediately. So that 24/7 live chat is really incredible. And that's actually supported by a small service business. We also have something coming up that I'm really excited about, and that is we are launching an online interactive quit plan in February. And this is where service members can create a personalized quit plan. Super cool. And that just helps, each individual with, making a path for how they want to move forward. And then, they can be accountable to themselves. So we can find that at www.ycq2.org to learn more.
And please check that website out. You can really find some great information that can make a difference in the lives of others. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention on this program that TRICARE actually does cover tobacco cessation services. And that includes counseling services from a TRICARE authorized provider, cover prescription or over-the-counter products at your local military pharmacy or through TRICARE Pharmacy Home Delivery. And keep in mind, to be eligible for these products, you don't have to have a tobacco-related illness, but you do need to have a prescription from a TRICARE authorized provider. You need to be age of 18 or older and not eligible for Medicare if you live in the U.S. And if you live overseas, keep in mind you need to be an active duty service member or family member and enrolled in a TRICARE Overseas Program Prime. So for more information, just go to tricare.mil/tobacco cessation and you can find all of the information you need. So Captain Elenberg, it's been a great discussion. Thanks so much for coming on the program today. Do you have anything else you'd like to share about tobacco before we go?
No, just whatever we can do to prevent the next person from starting, that's awesome. Because once you start, it's really tough to get off. But we got to be here for each other and help each other out. I can't tell you how much I really appreciate you setting up this podcast. I love this. I love the other preventive health services topics that you've addressed, including, the dental care, the filling prescriptions, and everything else. Life is challenging. Time is short, and this is great information you're putting out there. So thanks so much.
Well, that's it for today's episode. We hope this information can help you and your family live a healthier lifestyle in 2021 and beyond. For more on TRICARE covered services, be sure to visit the TRICARE publications page at tricare.mil/publications. You can check out the TRICARE Tobacco Cessation Program fact sheet, or you can go to tricare.mil/tobacco cessation. And be sure to tune into our podcast for future episodes on taking command of your health. For the Get to Know TRICARE podcast, I'm Anthony Vieira. Thanks for listening. We'll be back with another edition of the Get to Know TRICARE podcast soon. For the latest TRICARE news, be sure to visit our website at tricare.mil. And don't forget to contact your TRICARE contractor or your local military hospital or clinic if you have questions or need assistance.